At 11:25, 5 minutes before the show was to start, I had enough.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we're counting down our picks for Saturday Night Live's most infamous stories of sabotage, ranting, and conflict, on the air and off.
There's always a couple trying to take your place, but I never fall in love, maybe just in case.
That's not counting the many times the talent broke character with laughing fits. Number 20, Mikey the Chimp. Let's just say that Jason Bateman doesn't have the prestige he has now when he hosted SNL in 2005. One skit featured a fictional show by the unpretentious title of Monkeys Throwing Poop at Celebrities.
Monkeys throwing poop at celebrities.
Apparently, the fact that Mikey was an ape wasn't the only technical issue. Returning as host 15 years later, Bateman recounted in his monologue that Mikey became distressed when he was brought back for the episode's sign-off. The chimp attacked Bateman, nearly biting off his nose before being pulled away.
It doesn't look like much, right? Doesn't look like much, but I had the horror angle, right? This camera saw the terror.
2020 also marked the year Hollywood quietly phased out the use of ape actors to avoid such incidents. Whatever became of Mikey after he was sold, he gave Bateman quite the story.
I went down to his dressing room. I opened up the door, and he's standing there. He's looking very ashamed of himself, and honest to God, he shuffles over to me, puts his hand up on my shoulder as if to say, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Number 19, Colin Jost, April Fool. How perfect is it for an episode of SNL to fall on April 1st? It wasn't so much fun for Colin Jost, who got noticeably lighter laughs than usual during Weekend Update. A self-deprecating remark about attending a pro-Trump rally prompted one audience member to shout, "You stink!"
And I was the only protester there. You stink!
Amused and moved by his co-anchor's humiliation, Michael Che confessed that he had spoke to the audience to not laugh at Jost's jokes as a prank.
I told them not to laugh at you for April Fool.
Sure, many viewers couldn't help but crack up a bit. Nonetheless, Jost laughed hardest to try and cope with the mess. As modest as Che's April Fool's Day fun seemed to be, his victim didn't seem to take it very well.
And then I was just like, oh, I just suck.
All right, moving right along.
Number 18, Donald Trump backstage.
It's wonderful to be here. I will tell you, this is going to be something special. Many of the greats have hosted, as you know, this show, like me, in 2004.
There was no scandal when Donald Trump hosted SNL to promote his new show, The Apprentice, in 2004. It was a different case when he hosted in 2015 to promote his run for President of the United States. The show itself was much less dramatic than the backlash, but cast members later revealed that this was only after a difficult rehearsal. Trump reportedly clashed with writers and disrupted the table read to brag about book sales.
In my experience, didn't have a great sense of humor, didn't really understand a lot of the intention of the jokes or the sketches or the premise.
He also struggled with grasping the material, as he did 11 years prior.
We love some chicken wings, yeah.
If Trump appeared to take his Gentile ribbing in 2015 in good spirits, it's because he privately took control of the narrative. His conflicts with SNL since he took office couldn't be more public.
They've done so much to ridicule me over the years. This show has been a disaster for me. Look at this guy. Great. Isn't he doing fantastic?
Number 17, Sam Kinison goes on a rant.
You're trying to do your best to fight the drug war. And
Unhinged comedy legend Sam Kinison naturally pushed some buttons with his recurring stand-up routines on SNL. As hard as it was to separate his staged meltdowns from the impromptu, some cooler commentary during his season 12 appearance was particularly rebellious. Kinison advocated legalizing cannabis, violating NBC's Reagan-era policy about only addressing illegal drugs negatively.
And now they want everybody to stop smoking crack, Please stop smoking crack. Please stop smoking crack. All right, we'll make you a deal. We'll stop smoking crack if you give us the pot back!
The former preacher also blasted televangelist Pat Robertson's bid for a potentially theocratic U.S. presidency.
Yeah, Pat Robertson wants to be in the White House. A preacher in the White House. I don't have enough nightmares already.
The loosely screened routine was censored on reruns to mitigate the backlash. How did SNL respond to Kinison preserving and adding heated material after rehearsal? They had him host an episode a month later, with more controversial jokes and a tape delay for any other live TV incidents. Number 16. Damon Wayans' self-sabotage. It's no secret that Damon Wayans felt particularly underutilized as a featured player in season 11 of SNL.
And what do you do for a living, Mr. Jackson?
Well, I'm an entertainer, extraordinaire.
His behind-the-scenes conflicts eventually broke through in a spiteful act of improvisation.
Yes, we've got the whole transaction on videotape. We still got 3 people that saw you kill that undercover cop.
In a Mr. Monopoly-centered police interrogation skit, Wayans portrayed an officer with stereotypical gay mannerisms. He had not rehearsed this bit, which stole the show for its complete randomness in the context of the sketch.
If the Parker brothers could see you now, they puke. Why you ain't in jail, Miss... Oh, that's right, you Mr. Monopoly.
Nonetheless, Lorne Michaels reportedly had his own meltdown over an actor unilaterally taking a risk. Wayans succeeded in his objective, not to stand out, but to get fired. He and his brothers then found a worthier platform for their off-the-wall, generally more controlled antics with the sketch show In Living Color.
What courage it must have taken for little Spike Lee to take off them glasses and let that little hair get knotty and say, hey, this is me, here I am, see me, love me.
Number 15. Red Hot Bombs. Not all feuds that went public at Studio 8H started there. The Red Hot Chili Peppers' seminal album Blood Sugar Sex Magic was surrounded by tension between frontman Anthony Kiedis and guitarist John Frusciante. This supposedly explains their would-be ruinous rendition of Under the Bridge on SNL.
Walk through a field 'cause she knows who I am.
Frusciante awkwardly mangled his notes, tempo, and even volume, while the rest of the band could barely hide their confusion and frustration. Kiedis later claimed in the autobiography Scar Tissue that the guitarist intentionally botched the performance just to spite him. Frusciante maintains that he was just experimenting without notifying his bandmates. Either way, he left RHCP on bitter terms shortly after his embarrassing stunts, though they eventually reconciled. Number 14. Charles Grodin ruins everything.
I didn't know that there would be an audience here. How many of you know that this is live?
Landing renowned actor and comedian Charles Grodin as host should have been a triumph in the early years of Saturday Night Live. Unfortunately, commitment to the bit isn't always the most professional route. Grodin claimed in his monologue that he was unfamiliar with the show and missed dress rehearsal, which would influence his performance throughout the episode.
I haven't been around too much this week, but I think they've got me in some crazy skits, and while I've been here doing some promos for the show, I've seen the kids rehearsing, and it looks like a really cute show.
He chaotically improvised lines, awkward deliveries, forgetting material, and interrupting his peers. This Halloween episode was a treat for the show's more maverick fans, but a nasty trick on the cast and crew. Grodin was thus banned from the show.
Lauren, this isn't going to affect my song, is it? I mean, the bee thing ran a little long. It's not going to eat into the time for my song, Lauren, is it?
Chuck, I'm afraid it does. It really looks now like the song is cut.
The legendary entertainer's disastrous performance may have been intentional, but he probably didn't expect it to go that far.
Oh, Chuck, you don't even know the lyrics.
Well, I'm learning them as we're going.
Number 13. Woody Harrelson's movie pitch. The world seemed optimistic in early 2023. Between the COVID-19 vaccines and the lovable Woody Harrelson hosting SNL.
This is my 5th time doing SNL.
Unfortunately, the actor has never been shy about his anarchist views. His monologue culminated in an awkward, babbling movie pitch about a cartel collective taking control of a dystopian world. He was blatantly hinting at conspiracy theories about lockdown protocols and media coverage of the recent pandemic.
The biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media and all the politicians and force all the people in the world to stay locked in their homes, and people can only come out if they take the cartel's drugs and keep taking them over and over.
The audience's silence was deafening until Harrelson scored some uncomfortable laughs with a joke about personal substance use.
I mean, who is going to believe that crazy idea? Being forced to do drugs? I do that voluntarily all day long.
The unhinged bit was met with considerable backlash, which Harrelson dismissed in defense of free speech. It's still a concerning reminder for the coolest public figures to be responsible about what they say. Number 12. Elvis Costello goes rogue. Who'd have expected the iconoclastic Elvis Costello to be more commercially savvy than Columbia Records? The label insisted that the English rocker's 1977 SNL performance include the new single Less Than Zero, which he considered the political lyric esoteric to American audiences. Costello cutting off his own performance to play the then unreleased Radio became an iconic moment.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, there's no reason to do this song here. Radio. 1, 2.
The real meltdown was just off camera. Costello recalls a furious Lorne Michaels giving him the middle finger throughout the performance, as if it wasn't clear by the end of the song. The singer was banned from the show, at least until 1989. Maybe Michaels would have preferred this year's girl with his policy of no surprises. Number 11. Larry David walks out. Sometimes your big break can just break you. Larry David's brief tenure as an SNL writer in the mid-'80s was all the more high pressure for the fact that only one sketch made it to air.
You were a failure at Saturday Night Live.
Total failure.
And you were there during that legendary season when it was Billy Crystal and Martin Short.
This led to a particularly heated confrontation with producer Dick Ebersol right before an episode went live. David quit on the spot, then got back to work at the start of the next week like nothing happened.
The real Kramer, the guy you were living with, Kenny Kramer.
My next door neighbor,
right,
yeah.
He says, go back on Monday and pretend like it didn't happen.
That's exactly what I did.
This ordeal wound up inspiring George Costanza's storyline in The Revenge, the first Seinfeld episode that David wrote solo.
Am I crazy? Or didn't you quit?
When?
Friday.
Oh, what, that? Are you kidding? I didn't quit. Why, you took that seriously.
The most degrading incidents can be spun into comedy gold, though this one probably convinces Ebersol of David's untapped greatness. Number 10. Morgan Wallen would rather be elsewhere.
I never let my heart go all the way. Every time I try, I just hit the brakes.
A magnet for controversy, country artist Morgan Wallen faced backlash just after barging off the SNL set during the sign-off. That and later posting a photo of his private jet with the caption, "Get me to God's country." This sparked speculations that Wallen's folksy persona clashed with the show's definitively New York climate. He explained on Caleb Presley's podcast Sunday Conversation that he was just eager to get home.
SNL, did they make you mad?
No, I was just ready to go home. I've been there all week.
You had to get your plane. Get me to God's country.
Yeah.
While Entertainment Weekly reported that he was on good terms with the SNL team. But the following week, they harshly spoofed the incident twice.
I want to go to there, demon. Get me to God's country, right? Remember that?
Kenan Thompson had himself suggested to EW that there really was tension surrounding the musical guest. Whoever is the problem in this situation, Wallen's walk-off was rude at best. Number 9. Martin Lawrence gets nasty.
I hope the kids are in bed, because I got to talk, y'all.
The first and last host monologue by actor-comedian Martin Lawrence concluded with a stand-up riff on feminine hygiene.
You got some beautiful women, but you got something out there that I gotta say something. Some of you are not washing your properly.
Future airings of this episode would cut him off with a statement explaining that his descriptions were too offensive to show.
At this point in his monologue, Martin begins a commentary on what he considers the decline in standards of feminine hygiene in this country.
When the off-script moment was shown live, it inspired some 200 formal audience complaints. The incident reportedly nearly resulted in mass firings for not stopping Lawrence, who was himself not just banned from SNL, he was banned from NBC entirely. The network has since issued an apology to Lawrence and reopened its doors, but the show itself appears to still be haunted by the impromptu rant. After all, it's most important to keep your act clean on live television. Number 8. The Replacements. What a mess.
What a mess! I'm your man of success!
Kudos to the many rock bands that cooled down their stereotypical antics as guests of Rockefeller Center. Unfortunately, the Replacements had managed to get a hold of alcohol after SNL invited them as a replacement for musical guest the Pointer Sisters. They wound up breaking a guitar, destroying a hotel room, and forgetting lyrics. Most of all, as far as Lorne Michaels was concerned, frontman Paul Westerberg swore during the performance. He was ironically able to return to the show as a solo act in 1994. But of course, the band was banned as the quintessential example of going too rock and roll, even for SNL. Number 7. Chevy Chase versus Bill Murray. Distance hasn't exactly eased tensions between Chevy Chase and the SNL team since he left the main cast in '76.
This piece is going nowhere. You know what I mean? No finish.
Chevy, would you go away?
His returns as host have yielded many scandals and feuds, but none more notorious than his first comeback. Bill Murray, who initially replaced Chase after his departure, took it upon himself to burst the comeback kid's movie star ego with an increasingly heated exchange of insults.
You dirty rat! You killed my brother!
Ike. No, not Ike.
They ultimately came to blows right before the show went live. It was Chase's old nemesis John Belushi who broke up the fight, but not the feud. Though it reportedly relaxed on the set of the classic Caddyshack 2 years later, Chase has never lived down this one of many altercations.
Seriously, no BS. You ever want to rap or anything? Just talk or just, get weird with somebody. Buddies for life, I think.
I'll drop by. You drop by my place anytime.
Number 6. Fear the audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, fear!
John Belushi pulled some strings to land underground punk rockers' Fear, a Halloween gig at Studio 8H. He had left SNL years prior and seemed determined to make the producers regret trusting him. Shortly after Fear blasted into the crass beef bologna, Belushi himself started a violent mosh pit that damaged the set. The band further fanned the flames by punctuating the song with one of the ugliest remarks to New Yorkers. "It's great to be in New Jersey." Needless to say, Fear was banned from a show they were never meant for.
This is for Republicans and Democrats alike.
Moreover, their performance has been scrubbed from syndication. Belushi was reportedly spared a band through the last months of his life, although many legends still surround his final blowout on SNL. Number 5. Rage Against the Machine. Directly. There was no accusing Rage Against the Machine of selling out when their SNL episode with Republican businessman Steve Forbes went down.
I'm Steve Forbes, and I'm human. That's right. I am human, just like you.
The left-wing provocateurs intended to play Bulls on Parade with upside-down American flags over their amps, which were removed just before the cameras roll. They were naturally suspicious when their second song was cut supposedly for time. Bassist Tim Comerford responded to the news by tearing up one of the flags, balling it up, and throwing it at Forbes' family in his dressing room. The presidential candidate's Secret Service detail responded by detaining the band. RATM was soon released, never allowed to return to SNL again. So much for the producer's idea that political opposites would attract an audience.
I'd like to thank Rage Against the Machine, the cast, the writers, the crew, Lorne Michaels, my wife Sabina.
Number 4. Louise Lasser loses her nerve.
I wish I could tell you we had a great show for you, but I can't. No, it's not because of the show. I mean, the staff, everyone's great. It's just that I'm real tired.
It's believed that Louise Lasser was the first host to be banned from Saturday Night Live. Her monologue eventually fell apart under nerves and supposedly off-script remarks.
He said, just, you go out there and you be yourself and you, quote, wing it. So I'm winging it.
She then retreated to her dressing room, only to be comforted by Chevy Chase, of all people. It would be years before Lasser confirmed suspicions that this infamous breakdown was a staged tribute to her soap spoof, Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Still, it's rumored that Lorne Michaels tried to cut the bit and that Lasser was difficult to work with. It's harder to excuse her awkward performance throughout the rest of the critically panned episode.
Son, line please.
I just feel you don't care the same way you used to.
Whether Lasser was truly banned, as her episode was, the pressure from her life and career at the time are definite. Number 3. Robert Blake's rehearsal.
Now, first of all, I have two very special treats for you. The first one is I'm not going to do a monologue.
Long before the scandals and disgrace, prolific actor Robert Blake must have fancied himself above hosting Saturday Night Live, and he allegedly let the cast and crew know with his blatant lack of respect.
I don't work. I don't work because I don't like Hollywood, and Hollywood don't like me. And you can take that to the bank. Am I right, gang?
The most notorious insult came during a writer's room meeting that Blake filled with tension. It came to a head when he dismissed a Gary Kroger sketch by crumpling up the script and throwing it right in the writer's face.
And once again, thank you very much, Julia, for a job well done.
Blake ultimately put on a solid show but was banned afterward. His notorious attitude would eventually destroy his career altogether. But he does have less flattering legacies than being one of the worst hosts SNL has ever had. Number 2. The Passion of Sinéad O'Connor. In one of the most controversial moments in SNL history, musical guest Sinéad O'Connor did not perform a second song from her album, Am I Not Your Girl?
Everywhere is war. War in the east. War in the west.
She instead stared, sang Bob Marley's War a cappella, reworking the lyrics to incorporate themes of sexual abuse. She then presented her late mother's photo of Pope John Paul II, tore it apart, and exclaimed,
"Fight the real enemy."
O'Connor had rehearsed with a photo of a child refugee to decry social plight, but she improvised this globally televised protest of the then little-known epidemic of child abuse in the Catholic Church. Despite the eventual exposure of this crisis, O'Connor's career was devastated by her stunt and permanent ban from NBC. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Kanye West campaigns for someone else.
Some days, I'm not gonna please everybody. Some days.
The always unpredictable Kanye West was courting political controversy when he returned to SNL in 2018. It wasn't enough of a statement for him to wear a MAGA hat in solidarity with President Trump while closing the episode with Ghost Town. The broadcast cut off just as he started into a rant about Black Americans' relationship with the Democratic Party.
And the liberals bully you and tell you what you can and cannot wear.
The audience booed. Kenan Thompson compared it to a hostage situation, and Michael Che derided West backstage. And yet, the internet had more to say about this incident even before the footage of it leaked. West did apologize to Che years later, but what may be SNL's most notorious on-set outburst is just one of the rapper's many scandals.
Thank y'all for giving me this platform. I know some of y'all don't agree.
What live incidents on SNL are rerunning in your head? Break them down in the comments.